With the back axle sort of taken care of and notes taken of the parts that we require, it's time to move on to the front axle. I've got all the rest of them filled with oil, but before I put oil in the front axle, I thought we'd have a quick look through the swivel balls, you know, where the filler is, to see if there's any grease in them. Now, I might have to get my other camera out and look inside to see if there's anything. But in this side, what side is that? That's the left-hand side. There doesn't look like there's any grease at all. And that's what I'm saying about the oil seal maybe is broken and oil and grease are mixing together. Yet on this side, it looks like there is grease on the swivel ball on the inside, but not on that side. Let me get the camera set up and I'll have a look. This is going to be pretty tricky to film, but I've got the camera here and you can see there's grease there, look. So there's the orifice. Thwacking of rubber gloves, let's go in. You can see there seems to be a complete lack of lubrication inside, look. Well, not a complete lack, but you see it's not all sprayed with grease inside, look. You see what I mean? Let's go and have a look at the other side. Again, there's the CV housing, look. It's very tricky because the thing here is so long I can't get it around to go around the corner, but you would think that that would all be covered in grease. I know it's centrifugal force, there's a bit there, look. But like if we look on the edge of the swivel ball on the inside, there isn't all that much. There's a smattering. You know, I've got a kit here. Let's do it. Let's do it once and let's do it right. Because you see, the last thing we want is this to break down at the side of the road with a busted CV or something like that. It's a pity I can't see in better at an angle, you know. Oh well, never mind. But like I say, looking down there, doesn't seem to be much lubrication at all. And the thing is, like I say, when you look at these here, there isn't even a drain on them like there used to be in the old days. I think we'll get into it and have a look. I was considering to take out just the bolts that hold the flange on and then pull the whole unit out, replace the seal, bang some grease in it and job done. But that's a bit of a cop-out because we really want to have a look at everything. So I'm going to strip it down. Now, I've done these before and I'll just leave I'll put a fresh battery in the camera, hopefully it'll work. And I'll just work, and if I've got me back to the camera, well, tough, you're not paying for it anyway, are you? So, first of all, what we've got to do, take these flange bolts off here, take this flange off, undo the hub, you know, hub nuts, take off the caliper, and then we can get rid of this great big lump. Well, we've done that before. Tie rod ends off, done those, and then we've got sort of good access to the stub axle, and then we take that off. Now I'm going to whip them all off with a gun, you know, just for time, but like I say, getting the caliper off, all I'm going to do is clamp the hose here, undo the pipe on the top, undo the pipe and move it out the way, the locking nut, take that out. I don't really want to take off the swivels. The swivels are set nice, but again at the same time the seal was a bit weepy at the back, so I'm going to change the seal at the same time. Just makes sense, doesn't it? You know, I mean, it's going to get worse and we don't know what's in here. The clue was the green oil, because oil EP90 isn't green. Right, so I wonder if you can see me from there. I'll just move the things around a bit. One good thing about this job is all the nuts and bolts are easy to get off. Brake pipes, you know, taking pipes off in 1997, they've usually had about 5 sets by now. Get this brake pipe off. Well, I tell you what, let's get them bloody CV, no, those CVs, those tie rod ends off, and that'll help move this around a bit. Obviously they didn't follow my instructions of putting these nuts, what nuts in? These, what a freaking mess. Wish people wouldn't wrap these around, like. Snap the legs off. Ooh. Come off. Come off. Oh, this one isn't even in. I start to give up on this one. Dear me. Oh. See, they just bent the head over like that, look. 19 mil. There's spatters everywhere now. I wonder if these are tight. No. Good. Oh, hey, I tell you something, it was snowing this morning. What's it now? 9th of May. I honestly can't believe it that it's been so cold. Right, it's Canada, isn't it? A dump. Right, let me go and get a hammer. Get these swivels off. Ta-da! Thor, his mighty hammer. That's pretty resistance. Oh, that one's a tight one. I'll tell you something, they've put new tie rod ends on here, and I bet you that they've left that piece off the bottom of the diff because they couldn't get it off. Yeah, I bet they couldn't get it. Removed. They put it off. They've taken it off and put it to one side, and forgot to put it back on again. That's all right with them out it, will you? No damage to the rubber. Go over there, hammer. See how easy it is to work. And there's hardly any preload on there, look. So the preload needs setting with shims. Do it. Right, let's get another 17mm spanner and get that off. That's a funny size. There we go. Yeah, we can do a lot with this. We can do the preloads. That's going to be good. God help us. This film, it's going to be like The Sound of Music, isn't it? It's going to be that long. I know guys in England, they've got no Coronation Street at the moment. Hey, EastEnders is going to be full. That's funny, isn't it, when it comes back? Most of them will be in hospital. Hey, I tell you something, I was thinking about it last night, EastEnders and Coronation Street. I bet it's a great opportunity to get rid of a load of old actors. Ken Barlow suffers COVID-19. It's only fiction, you know. Coronation Street, it's not real. There we go. They're off. They're off. You see, no fluid leaking. Oh, you see, those clamps are excellent. Buy some. Buy some today. That gives us good opportunity to get to the nuts, the bolts on the, what should we call it, that thing, brake caliper thing. Need a breaker bar. I think that's why people like this channel, because I'm sort of unorganised. Like, you know, people with all the snap-on toolboxes. I was just looking at that spanner there. This is out of a Toyota toolbox, toner. I don't, do they actually give spanners in cars now, you know? Like a little toolbox. I wonder if they do. When I do these, I always use a 1/2 inch 12 spline socket rather than a 13, because with a bit of corrosion they tend to wear a bit, you know. The sockets, and you know, you want a good socket on these, because if the heads go, well, I'm into trouble. As many of you have found out, yeah, it's a really good Land Rover, this, and it really is worth spending a little bit of time doing these jobs. Not expensive jobs, but doing. And I know Michelle's watching this, the owner, but you know, instead of buying winches, put your money into this sort of stuff first. Pays dividends, you know. But then again, if you've never had a Land Rover, you wouldn't know, would you? Because all you guys who've got Land Rovers just say, oh yeah, no, that's right. Don't buy a winch, just get wheel bearings. And again, like I said to you before, this gives us an opportunity to have a look at the wheel bearings in this truck. But you know, we can see an awful lot of things. We can see into the future. I suppose you could put a gun on them and whiz them out, but it doesn't make good viewing, does it? I bet I'm turning it, it's sort of holding on there. Yeah, come on. Come out. Come out or else. Next thing, we need a 17mm and my air gun, which is over here. Back again. Had to resort to using a small socket. Silicone. 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 Dismantling tool. I noticed on here there was no gaskets fitted. Oh, there is shoes. Only nine, there's one. These little shims here are remarkably expensive, don't lose them. You know, for what they are, they're gorgeous. Yeah, I think they've just banged these on because look at them, they look almost brand fire new. And there's not a dub of grease on them. And if you can see the splines, look, I can see them, they're nice and shiny, look. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad I'm looking at it now. It's sometimes, you know, I have second thoughts when I do jobs without permission, but I think the owner will be pleased all the same that we're getting this done. But, you know, like I say, do it once and do it right. It will be alright, you know. We'll right. Know what I mean? Chisel, take off the nut that's been off many times before. What a bloody mess this is. Oh dear. Right. Where's that big socket? Jerry, my mate Jerry's supposed to be making me a little toolbox to my design on wheels so I can keep socket, you know, like a few sockets handy. You know, stuff I use day to day and I can move around instead of putting things on the bloody floor. Right, what's in here? I see. If I lose anything, just give a shout out and tell me. Now you often wonder why I always fit new tab washers, and this is the reason. You can see on here there's the metal is being chipped off where it's been folded before, and that can get into your bearings. You know, for the price of them, they're only pennies. They're only pennies. Let's take. These sockets here, these are a Britpart one, 52mm, absolutely invaluable for doing jobs like this. Just a half-inch drive, you know. Right, spin that off. Thumbs over the end. Ooh. Let's have a quick shufty. Oh, I've got grease in, but it's also got water in. We'll wet them through the parts washer, we'll have a look. The rotor's good. That doesn't need replacing. Now, we can get to these bolts here. This ring here, this press steel ring, is just to stop dirt getting in the back of the stop dirt getting in back of the wheel rotor or disc. Otherwise it could cause imbalance, you know. Mud dries out in one big lump. Funny enough, we get a lot of problems with that in Canada with the ice on the inside of the rims. You know, sometimes it gets ice built up in one particular big area and the car's shaking, and all it is just wash them off with a steam cleaner. God, it's not often I'm wrong, but this time I'm right. Let's pull this CV out. See? V. We're going to clean it all up, but I don't know if you can see from there. Well, you can do. That's the amount of lubrication that was in it. It was a good call to see, because look at it, and you can see the colour is very similar to the axle oil colour that came out. I'm pleased about that. I'm very pleased about that. So now all we need to do now is undo the bolts off here, and that can go in the parts washer. And then, you know, I've got my parts washer, petrol and diesel parts washer, and then I put it into the ultrasonic cleaner to really give it a good old cleaning out, because if not, you're forever changing the damn water in the parts in the ultrasonic. So what I'm going to do, I'll crack off these bolts here. These are 14mm, and I'm also going to use one of those ratchet spanners, but you're going to have to crack them off first with a regular key. Alright, don't use your ratchet spanner because you'll break it. Let me go and get some tools, because I know I won't be able to find them in a second. To get them off, 14mm key, hitch another spanner on the end of it, crack them off, and then with one of these ratchet spanners you can easily sort of whiz them out. So I'll just do sort of one, because you see these have got Loctite on them. Now, the top Britrest tip is, don't just take one out, because at the top it's very close to the top of the housing and you won't be able to get your spanner out. Progressively take them off halfway, pull the housing back, and then take them out. So I'm going to get the rest of these cracked off, and I'll show you how to do that. I hope you can see this. I've just zoomed in a bit, and this is what I was talking about. Back off your bolts a bit. See, there's the flange tight up, pull it back, and then progressively go around the bolt, because at the very top one, like I say, it's very tight, and if you use these ratchet spanners that hasn't got a reverser on like mine, you won't be able to get the damn thing off. Now, just as a little tip, as I've done before in the past, if these spline headed bolts here round off, it's not the end of the world. Grind them off, get as many out as you can, grind off the head. Now there is a washer on here, there's a washer behind this here, and this allows the spanner to move backwards and forwards, if you see what I mean. You don't, on the early ones the washer was attached to the spline and it made it very difficult to get out. But you can cut the heads off without doing much damage, and then once you get the swivel ball off, you can then warm up this flange and get the bolts out. They come out really easy, but the splines wear out, if you see what I mean. So, you know, let's have a look. See if I can whiz this off in real time. Again, just a little bit at a time. These little ratchet spanners are invaluable for this job. You'll find a few of them are a bit tight, but they'll come out. As I say, just go around them. It's amazing how much oil's in here, eh? Hardly anything. So where's it gone? We shall find out in a second. Maybe longer. Pull it a bit more. Now we should be able to get these bolts out. Yeah, you see, look, they're just finger tight now. I'll explain to you what I was saying about these bolts. You see, they've got a washer. That allows your spanner to go over the top like that, and then you can get them out really easy. But the earlier ones were all in one piece. So they're a bit of a bugger to get out. Now we'll take the bottom ones out first. Now when I say this oil seal's probably gone, it doesn't mean it's disappeared. But what it could do is there could be a few bearings that's a bit loose in this housing and causing the CV to wobble about a bit. I don't know, I'm just guessing. But it could be causing the CV to wobble about and therefore elongating the seal, and it'll spring back because there's a spring in it, but it's just enough over the years to let a bit of oil out. This hasn't been changed for ages, honestly. It hasn't been looked at for a long time. We can use these bolts again, you don't need to have new ones, but always put them back under Loctite. Don't put them in just dry. 2 more to go. I think when we get it on the bench, we'll pull this top pin out and have a look at it. You know, it should be a bearing, like a ball bearing, not a ball bearing, a taper roll bearing. We don't know. Right. Oh. Didn't fall on my foot. Come out. Come out or else. There we go. Oh! Ah, fuck. Gee. You know, no wonder I get paid so much. Let's zoom out. Can you see how the grease has come through here? Look, it should be on the other side. Yeah. That's the only seal we've got to get out. So obviously you can see the grease has got through here into the axle. Good call, Mike. That was really good, Mike. Yeah. I'll subscribe. So let's wash these parts up, clean them all up. But you can see in here, look. See the grease? Not good. I'm going to wash all we're going to wash all this axle out, so I'll do the other side and then we'll do a little video putting this back together. I'm going to wash my pinkies.